Kaizen, a series of videos giving you information on continued improvement.
The waste of motion, and this, in my opinion, is one of the biggest ones, is continual motions. It's a waste. In contrast to transportation, refers to damage to products and transaction costs associated with moving them. Motion refers to the damage that production process inflicts your employees in your company, either in overtime, wear and tear for equipment, repetitive stress injuries for workers, or accidents that damage equipment or injures the actual worker. I'll tell you, it's a big problem in manufacturing and actually anything, office procedures too. A big waste in motion is having the worker employee chase after things like a box wrench, papers, boxes, and all supplies. Or take a look at a person in an office. They're chasing after paper clips or typewriter ribbon, or that's back in the day with typewriters, or that sort of thing. All supplies should be at the workstation for the day's production or work. If you did a value stream mapping and saw the employees moving about the plant or the office even, looking for needed tools or supplies, you can see that they might walk a mile or more and not need to do that. If you use common sense and Kaizen principles, limit excess motion and it will save you time, money, and exhausted employees. Conveyor belts are a prime value added item in production. Henry Ford proved all of this decades ago. So we're not recreating the wheel, we're just using principles that, like Henry Ford has used this for decades and decades. Look to the military and that sort of thing, where you have standard operating procedures, efficient offices. It just be as efficient as possible. And a value stream mapping is where you would go in to any area and you sit there on a chair or a stool and you draw a little diagram, very simple, and you can see where people's moving. So if a secretary is constantly getting up from her station or her cubicle and moving here, moving there to get paper clips, to get discs, to get whatever, you note that and then say, wait, how can we stop this? Well, you can have everything pre-loaded on her desk the night before. Same when manufacturing. It would kill me. It should be like a horseshoe, where you have the entrance door where the UPS guys would drop off raw materials and make a big horseshoe. Consider this a horseshoe coming here all the way around. So one door you're getting raw material, and you have conveyor belts that go all the way around a horseshoe, and then the other end of the horseshoe goes out the door is in your shipping department. And so it's one fluid motion. So the conveyor belt would take the raw material and it goes, it's processing, building, and then finally gets to the end of the other end of the horseshoe, going ready out the door, and then it's packaged and shipped out. One flowing motion. And that's perfect. Everything's there. Everything's ready to go. Your employees are ready. All the raw materials, all the boxing, everything's ready to go. And it's one fluid moment. Fluid all the way. One fluid motion, and it's out the door. That is Kaizen. Let's talk about a man that very few people know about today, is Frank Bunker Gilbreth, Sr. He was born in 1868, lived till 1924. He was an early advocate of scientific management and a pioneer of motion study. Gilbreth began as a bricklayer, became a building contractor, an inventor, and evolved into management engineer. And Gilbreth discovered his vocation when he was young, building contractor. He sought ways to make bricklaying, that was his first trade, faster and easier. This grew into a collaboration with his eventual spouse, Lillian, that studied the work habits of manufacturing and clerical employees in all sorts of industries to find ways to increase output and make their jobs easier, just like Kaizen. Gilbreth served in the U.S. Army during World War I. His assignment was to find quicker and more efficient means of assembling and disassembling small arms. Gilbreth reduced all motions of the hand into some combinations of 17 basic motions. These included grasp, transport loaded, and hold. Gilbreth named these motions Therbligs. Gilbreth used a motion picture camera that was calibrated in fractions of minutes to time the smallest of motions in workers. The Gilbreths were, above all, scientists who sought to teach managers that all aspects and improvements constantly adopted. Their emphasis on the one best way and the Therbligs predates the development of continuous quality improvement. Gilbreth was the first to propose that a surgical nurse might serve as a caddy. Now that was Gilbreth's term. She was going to be a caddy to the surgeon by handing surgical instruments to the surgeon as called for. Gilbreth also devised the standard techniques used by armies around the world to teach recruits how to rapidly disassemble and reassemble their weapons, even when blindfolded or in total darkness. So, in all surgeries and all nurses handing utensils and surgical instruments to doctors, Gilbreth was the man that suggested that way back in 1868 through 1924, and he predated the continuous quality improvement. Wow. Frank Bunker Gilbreth. Let's all salute him. He was a great guy.
For anyone wanting to improve themselves in quality issues and just day-to-day living with Kaizen, which is self-improvement, continual improvement, keep watching our YouTube channel, MLS Pro Videos. Thank you for watching.